I don't know what to
Do
say.
sign language.
Yeah, yeah. I could show them images. I'll show you images. I'll show you.
Do sign
Hey,
language.
it's
Yeah.
on. It's on.
I could show images. I'll show you.
Excellent. We have sound.
Yay!
Woo!
Happy dance, happy dance. I'm doing the peanut dance. Thank you. No, okay. Thank you so much, you guys, for sticking with us. Yes, we are live. And what I was saying was thank you, Charles, for coming in since we had problems before.
Thank you for
We
having
actually,
me.
oh my gosh. And Charles, we even came in early, you guys, to try to work on technical stuff because the last show was just didn't work. So, yes, let's get going because we've already got, oh my gosh. Okay, so, anyways, Charles is amazing. You're going to see some of his beautiful work. I know, Charles, that you are known for your impressionistic, but when I see your work, you are so talented. Period. I know that when people see the things that I'm going to show you today, the images and the work that you've done, oh my gosh. So it's going to be so inspiring to really get to know you better deep down and really see all of the goodies that how you work. And then also, everyone, please stick around because we've got some really good goodies from Charles and a special deal. So hang in to the very end so you can see that special deal. But we'll be coming in and out and sharing some of his books and so much to do today. Real quick, this is the Macro Chat Live Show. It is for macro, micro, and close-up photography. And we meet here every other Thursday. And once a month, I have a special guest, just like Charles, the amazing Charles. I'll never forget this, Charles. I'll never forget the show because we have tried so hard to get him on. So as I know that you guys haven't heard the shout outs, but I want you to know as we were having the technical difficulties, I was telling Charles everybody was here and I was giving you guys all shout outs. And I love that you guys are chatting it up. We will pay attention to the chat. So if you have any questions as we're going, we'll get those answered for you. So, let's go ahead and we are going to do a quick sponsor because it's important to me, and then we're going to really dive into Charles. Are you ready to set your photography goals? If you are, get ready and check out our membership program. Registration is going to be opening up soon, and this is a place where we start a 4-week course to get you going, and you'll see that there's a variety of things that you're going to do in this course, but that is only the beginning of us working together to move you forward. It's a great place to be in a community that really works hard and fun to push our creativity within ourselves in a safe environment. Check out the testimonials. You'll see that it's a wonderful group for people who really want to express themselves and be creative within a beginning stage all the way to a business stage. We have broken it up so each person can have their own specific stage to really work on their goal sets. It's a wonderful place for us all to hang out. Check out down below. I know that you'll love it. Oops, hi. All right, Charles, let's go ahead and get into because we're running late. So I always tell everybody that we try to get the show an hour, but this show will probably go a little bit over an hour because of the technical problems. But Charles, let's dive into you. My first and most, I just love this question I ask everyone, I just love it. How did you start your journey into this photography realm that you're in right now? I'd love to hear your story.
Well, I'll try and give you the condensed version. It's kind of a long story, but I really actually got into macro photography and really all photography in a mysterious way. I had chronic fatigue syndrome, or yuppie flu as they call it, and was bedridden for almost a year and couldn't move around very much. And I picked up my camera and just discovered amazing beauty through the lens. And so I ended up doing a DVD that now plays in over 200 hospitals across the country, and nature images and music. And I started reading a lot of research in the field of environmental psychology, showing how being in nature, connecting with nature, especially even a simulated view of nature, such as a close-up image, could literally, have sort of healing and restorative effects for people. So that's really kind of what turned me on initially to it. And it's been a form of therapy ever since.
Wow. Oh, that is amazing. And so, okay, that's wonderful. Did you have anything artsy before? I mean,
Well, kind of. I was always interested in the arts and would always take family photos whenever, we'd go on trips and things like that. Mm-hmm. I remember as a kid, holding my finger up and looking through the hole and things like that. So, but I, didn't really take any formal art training in the beginning. I did, of course, later on.
Right. Wow. Yeah, that, you do hear a lot about photography arts and stuff being very therapeutic, and I know that many photographers it helps. It really does help.
It really does.
Yeah.
One of my interests currently is mindful photography, how we can bring a mindful mindset to our work. So I'm going to be developing that even further and probably writing books about it and all that stuff. So.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so. Look, everybody, we got the inside story before everyone else. That's awesome. Wow. Well, definitely let me know when that comes out. I'm really interested in that for sure.
Great.
So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to share your work now. And as I do these things, I'm going to, share a variety of work. But one of the things that I want to know is when you're photographing, like something like these or anything that you do, is there a thought process that you think before you're actually shooting, or do you have a vision while you're shooting? When you're actually pushing the shutter button, not really post-processing, unless that's part of it. I'm just kind of curious on your work as you have the camera in your hands.
Yeah, a lot of times I will approach a subject without my camera first and really just kind of take some deep breaths and try to kind of be in the moment. And I find that a lot of times the subject will find me, or at least whatever aspect of the subject I'm wanting to capture will find me. And a lot of times the feeling will sort of bubble up inside, and I just then think to myself, okay, how can I best express that feeling, through the image making?
Wow. Yeah. See, that's great. You just sit there and observe before you're actually pushing that shutter button, which is, I remember. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that's one of the real gifts of macro photography. I mean, it really forces us to slow down, pay attention to details, think more methodically and all of that. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love this one. Is one of my favorites. There's so many favorites that I have. You'll see. But okay. So as we're looking at these now, this is what I was telling everybody that didn't hear. I think I was saying that. I don't know. I don't know how much they've heard and how much they didn't. But basically, what I was saying is that I really love how you can have you have such beautiful work. It's so impressionistic, like this, and then yet you have something really clear and strong, like this. So it's awesome. I mean, I just love how you can go from one extreme to another and make it a successful piece. So I'm curious, like, here's something. Look at this, you guys. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Just the form of it. It's beautiful. So, and then, let me look. Oh, there's so much. Look at this. But I'm curious on your post-processing now. So Is it something that you flow instantly, or you just kind of go with it? Let us know a little bit about how you work on your pieces. I'm curious on that too.
Yeah, I really try and take a minimalist approach. I was trained to try and kind of get it right in the camera because it was with film. So I really try to pay attention to, I always in my workshops talk about border patrol. So, paying attention to all four edges of the image and making sure there's nothing distracting, coming in. And I really feel like that's just sort of the icing on the cake for me, the post-processing. I really don't want an image to look overcooked, like it was just obvious when it first, appears in front of someone that there was a ton of post-processing done. So I would just try to get it right and just tweak, a little bit of contrast maybe, and, hue saturation with a lot of moderation, and a little bit of like just burning or dodging if I feel like that's necessary, and vignetting of corners. And really that's kind of it. I try not to do too much else. There's a time and place for all that other stuff, of course, but I just want to sort of have a more minimalist approach. And I think that we need more of that in today's world, in our lives and in our photography.
Yeah, I agree. This is so pretty. Is this in the desert? Did you do this in the desert? Get this
Actually, that is a close-up of a piece of slate.
Wow.
Mother Nature did that, but it was already kind of a slice, if you will, of a slate, a piece of slate.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I had to still sort of compose it the way I wanted it, and I did want it to appear to be a landscape. And really, macro photos, and you've probably discussed this before on this show, are nothing more than kind of mini landscapes. A lot of people will say, "Oh, I can't do macro," and they're scared of it or whatever. But I just tell them it's just like a landscape, only on a smaller scale.
Yeah, it's so true. This one's gorgeous too. Wow. Now, do you do a lot of stacking or not that much stacking? It just depends on how you feel.
It depends. I really actually rarely do stacking. Maybe 1% of the time, honestly. And I'm one of those people that will break the rule, and I don't mind stopping down to f99. My camera doesn't have f99.
But you would do it.
But
because you have that impression.
At the end of the day, maybe there's a tiny bit of diffraction or whatever, but it's okay, to stop down to f32 or f22 or whatever, in my book, for doing macro photos. So, and maybe that's just a lazy way around, focus stacking, but that's always kind of been the way I've done it, and I've never felt like it affected the quality of the imagery.
Well, that's something really good to say, because, we all have our reasonings for the things that we do. But why you're doing this, and you're successful because you are making work that is, this is soft, but yet the way you've seen this and the way the curves go around and the colors come back into it and the gorgeous yellows and the pinks, it's successful. So it's good. I have to tell you, though, I was just talking to the members, and I was telling them that one of my professors, they made us go to this gallery, and they said, what's different, the show, and what's different about this portfolio that this photographer had? Not one piece was in focus, but we couldn't figure it out because we were like, oh my gosh, it's Ansel Adams, focus to focus, you know what I mean?
Right.
But that's something really good to say, because you know what you want. Look at this, everyone. How gorgeous is this? Because I feel too that you really see things a lot differently, and taking it away, you're doing things different than what everybody else does. And that's what I see from you.
Well, thank you. I'm not trying to think about, how this is going to be different from anyone else or anything like that. I was trained a lot of my work. I had a lot of influence from Nancy Rotenberg, who some other guests might have mentioned in the past here, but she unfortunately left us too soon, but was very encouraging to me and said, oh, you should teach, you'd be a great teacher and all that sort of stuff. But I remember more than anything else, the message from Nancy was shoot to make your own heart sing. And that is such a powerful message. Too often we're trying to make an image just because we want to get a first place ribbon or please, such and such a judge. And I just like breaking the rules and not being afraid to do that. And, other times conforming. So it's just about pleasing myself mostly, honestly.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah.
And maybe, I think a lot of photography really is how you see and developing an eye. And one of the ways to develop your eye, I think, is to just kind of slow down and really pay attention and just start noticing. One of the tools that I've really fallen in love with is my iPhone. I mean, I use that a lot just to keep my visual muscle in shape, if you will. Like, just it helps me to see the world as I'm moving through it and experience it on a whole new level. And so the phone has done amazing things, I think, for my photography. And a lot of the images you're showing here were, believe it or not, made with a phone.
Isn't it great, though, that how it's developed, though? I mean, the phones used to be really crappy, but not anymore. It really
is amazing. Yes. I mean, the technology is really taken off and it's only going to get better. So, and I know several of my friends and colleagues who have actually ditched their big boy or big girl cameras and just don't want to carry the weight even of a mirrorless camera around and have decided the phone is it. So more power to them. And, it's like asking a chef after you've had this amazing meal what kind of oven they used. It doesn't matter. It's not about the equipment.
So true, so true. But it is about keeping, like you say, within your heart and really just pushing your limits of what you like and just playing.
Yeah, and learning what the camera can do, with certain apertures and depth of field. I mean, you do have to know the technical, but once you learn that, then it just almost becomes second nature and you can focus more on the vision and the creativity part.
Exactly. I fully believe in that. I think people just jump into it too much and, they want to get where you're at. And just, if you just learn the technical stuff first and then the creativity will come because you'll know what you can do. Right. This is really pretty.
Not so hard on yourself either. A lot of the students I work with, they have that inner critic going all the time. So.
I know. Oh, so pretty, so pretty. Oh my gosh. And again, I want to also share, we're going to share where you're going in your books and everything. But I was looking at this. Is it really that like beautiful out there? Or did you add flowers to that? Because I'm like, holy crap, I would die and went to heaven on there.
Yeah, well, you're talking about this image right here of the hyacinth. Yes. So that is real. I mean, that exists in real life. They're grape hyacinth is what that is, that were planted in that way. I wish I could say I planted that. I don't know how they did it, but anyway, and it was made at Keukenhof Gardens in Holland, which is actually a workshop I was going to discuss toward the end. I do still have one more opening in that workshop if anyone's interested in joining me. But this is the type of scene that they do have at that garden. It's in Holland, and you can't walk through this, but it's pretty breathtaking when you first lay eyes on it.
Seriously, I was just like, whoa. I mean, I've never seen anything like that.
And the fragrance is amazing too,
Yes, that's true. I mean, I can imagine it must be so beautiful. I have so many gorgeous pictures from you, but we got to dive in. We're going to, look at this one too. I mean, is that a phone or is that your regular camera?
This is the real camera. This is my Nikon. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's actually a double exposure.
Oh, great. Okay. Fun. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. All right. Oh my gosh, you guys, I can't help it. Okay. So just so we can come back to us now real quick. So just so you guys know, Charles is having his website redone. So it will, we have it down below, but.
The workshops are up on there, by the way.
Oh, good. Okay.
They just got posted today, as a matter of fact.
Oh, good. Good.
So,
awesome.
All of the dates for this year are up. So
perfect. Okay, so you guys could see Charles' website, but stay here with us because, like I said, we have so much more. What we're gonna do now is we'll go because Charles has some really cool equipment stuff, and then I want to show you all his amazing workshops and all his fun stuff that he's doing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over to the first image, and just so you guys know, we have a macro just for the macro show, we actually have a Facebook group, so if you guys want to add your images and questions there, feel free to do it. All the links down below we'll share. Charles will share your stuff, and we will share the macro Facebook, so if you guys want to have a critique. So let's get into critique time. Okay, so this image here is from Beverly. And so I always ask them what is their goal for the piece before we jump in on the image. So that you can't have your image unless you've at least explained to us like what you want as a goal. So this is what she says. I just joined the macro Facebook group and very recently, and I also purchased Charles Needle's Creative Macro Photography book. So she says, I've attached 4 images, but I just picked this one right here. She says, I was drawn to and interested in the very center of the tiny pixel and stamens of the poinsettia flower. So that's where she was like trying to focus on. So this is not a hardcore feedback critique type thing. This is just, giving examples of what maybe she could play with or do with this predicament, or like another with this image, but yet more broad. This is a broader type thing. You know what I mean, Charles? It's not
sure.
So do you have any ideas for her to play with this?
Yeah, I mean, this is really awesome the way there's shallow depth of field going on here, focusing on what you mentioned that you really wanted the viewer to see. So that's awesome. There are a few little things that you could consider to sort of try. One would be to change the camera angle slightly, maybe lower the camera a little bit so that there's more separation between that sharp part and the red of the background, so it doesn't overlap with the ones in the back there that it's overlapping with right now. And by also tilting the camera down, you'll probably get a little bit more red in the foreground, which I think would help lead the eye into the photo. So those are just real quick little tips. And then on the upper left corner, there's a little bit of area of brightness, and that's a really good thing to point out because a lot of times we neglect, of course, the edges. I was talking about Border Patrol, but right on the very edge of that left edge there is the bright area, and you could darken that down so that you want to keep the eye in the photo. So anytime there's something bright out on the edges, it makes our eye kind of go out of the photo in general, as a general rule. So.
Yeah, and you could see this happening here, which it flows off, and that's just part of it, how it's big. But I see what you're saying, Charles, right here. Yeah, so to keep you inside.
It's subtle and it's very picky, but it's worth mentioning.
Oh yeah, for sure, because that's what's awesome, that she'll go in there and she'll play, and then next time her and some of the other chatters, we have 27 people live now, you guys. Awesome. Rocking it.
Welcome, everyone.
Oh, I think they can't see us right now, but they can only see the photo, but they can hear us finally. Okay, so let's get on to the next image, and this one is from Jan. Let me go in here. Where are you? Jan. So she says, she's so cute. Mr. Needle. I love you. She's so good. She's here all the time.
You can call me Charles, Jan.
That's awesome. Let me begin by saying what a huge fan I am over your phenomenal flower photography. I have your Impressionism book and am eager to practice its techniques this spring. I also am so happy you are critiquing my photograph. I know my description is too long, so please just answer whatever you want. I'm happy with any advice from you. My goal was to simply create a soft macro photo with a sharper center and some definition in the petals. The day was overcast with a gentle light. I began shooting this Delilah with a Sigma 150 macro at 150 macro at 2.8, which is open wide. Yeah. After I'd taken about a dozen photos, my camera fell off its tripod and the lens broke. I was upset, but I wanted to finish photographing this Delilah. Because the light was so soft, since I already had enough photos with my Sigma, I decided to experiment. And so I grabbed my vintage lens, a Carl Zeiss Pan Color 50 millimeter 1.8 Zebra. This was my first time using the lens. I purchased it for its wide aperture and swirling bokeh. The lens has a minimum focus distance of 1.2 feet, so I was able to get close to the flower. I quickly discovered that the lens is locked at the 1.4 aperture. I do not know why or how to fix it, but I took advantage of the 1.4 aperture, captured numerous photos of the Delilah. Her ISO was 200. So she says, compared with the Sigma captures and the results from the Zeiss, which was softer, a lighter version of the flower was with muted colors. In my opinion, the effect looks a little impressionistic. Part of this must be the 1.4 aperture, but I wonder if part of it also might be the lens specific. So she says, "Oh, I thought she has more." Hold on a second, girl.
I love it. That's great.
Dahlia. What did I call it? Delilah. Oops, sorry guys. Okay, here we go. In post-processing, I did some light cropping and made several minor adjustments. The main color adjustments were from using the channel mixer tool in Photoshop and adding a few curved layers. For the curved layers, I brightened the yellow in the Dahlia? What is it again? Dahlia. I'm so bad.
That's okay.
But kept the color soft, and I made the whatever petals more prominent, selective targeting their tips using the red curve. All these adjustments were subtle, but combined, they improved the photo. I think I achieved my goal of creating a soft look that still has some definition and structure, but I'm eager for your opinion and your advice where I need improvement. I also like my color adjustments, but perhaps they could be better too. Thank you very much. So I'm going to just jump in real quick. I think that whatever you say, Charles, she will just suck it in. So you just go for it.
Well, thank you, Jan. It's an amazing image, honestly. There's very little I could think of to improve it. And you've got me wanting to run out and try that Zeiss lens as well. Yeah, I mean, at first when I looked at it, I was thinking, oh, maybe you achieve this effect by using a soft focus filter. And then I thought, well, perhaps it's a lens baby, or, all of those crossed my mind. But that's in a way irrelevant, because the result here is beautiful. It's really got a nice, soft, ethereal feel to it. And I think the color adjustments are spot on. I wouldn't do a thing, honestly, to the colors. They're somewhat muted, but still vibrant enough to where, it really grabs the viewer. On the left-hand side there, you mentioned that you did a little bit of cropping. I'm wondering if there's a little bit more space that was there that you could bring back. It's a little close to the edge, that second petal down. And for me, just a tiny bit, which can sometimes create a little bit of tension in the viewer, but that is such a minor point. It's stunning, honestly, it really is. And the right side, I like how it sort of trails off into there is some definition, or what should I say, pixels, I guess, in that white area. It's not paper white. So if you made a print of this, there would be some density to that area. And I encourage you actually to make a print of this. This would look really, really nice. And don't be afraid to go huge on it. It might really be even more amazing blown up. So, and, it's a little soft overall. Yes, if you wanted, you could bring in a tiny bit more sharpness in the very center, but I wouldn't go too far at all. It's just lovely.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It just seems like it's like on fire or something, the way the petals are blue, it's just the way the petals are moving. I love the right side, how it's flowing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just so pretty. And the colors and everything. I just love it too. Very good. Very good for you guys. Both of you guys. Thank you so much. Yay, you can come back to us now. Yes, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, we got 30 people watching. Woohoo!
Lisha's the word, right?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let's do a little couple shout outs. So Jancy, Food Forest, Lisha, Shirley. Okay, let's see. Debbie, you guys say hi to everyone. This is I'm letting Charles know who's here. Rhino. Oh, Rhino's here. Good. He just had some surgery. Oh, thank you for coming, buddy. Yeah. So, Shirley, Food Forest. If I'm missing you guys, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to get it. So, Kathleen, Burmia, and if I'm butchering, Craig, thank you so much, you guys. And Eugene, you were the first one here. You rock. So yeah, and I know there are going to be a couple others that will definitely show up, watch later because they're over on the Europe. So thank you so much, you guys, for hanging with us, because right now we're going to go into equipment time. Yay! I'm so happy because Charles was showing some stuff that he had before, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited to see your goodies. So this is our time to see what you play with when you make your macro work. So you just go for it.
Okay, yeah. Well, one tool, and these are tools I want to emphasize, it's not the filter that's making the image great. You have to have the vision and the creativity. But this thing here is a 500D close-up lens, and I will take it out of the container real quick and show you. But it's really an awesome sort of optic that it's almost as if the front element of a lens was sliced off. And it's pretty thick, as you can see. It has a thread on there, so you screw it right onto the end of a lens. And the one I have here is 77 millimeters, and the reason is I can use it on my telephoto lens or my macro lens. And so, if I was going for a hike and I didn't want to carry a macro lens as well, I could put this on the end of my telephoto and only carry one lens in my backpack. And then it's really awesome when you put it on the end of a macro lens. It actually gives you greater magnification, and unlike extension tubes, you don't lose light when you are photographing with this. So it's also referred to as a diopter or a close-up filter or close-up lens. A lot of you may already have one, but I just love these. And any image that you see of mine that has kind of, I guess, more of a mushy sort of look to it, chances are I might have used this filter in that image making process. So
that's
highly
awesome.
Recommend that. And then I have a step-up ring because my macro lens is 62 millimeters. So this allows me to go from 62 to 77. These are real inexpensive. Anyway, that's one tool. And of course, every macro photographer should not be without knee pads. And these are really great knee pads. I actually have started selling these in my workshops. A lot of people like them because they're slender. They fit right in your camera bag. They're Velcro. You don't have to put them over your feet to get them on. You put each one on your knee separately. And they're really for gardening, but a lot of people love them for photography, and they're just more compact. So people can order those from me if they're interested.
Well, that's what I was going to tell you, that I want to put, after the show, give me all the links and we'll put it down below in the show notes so then they can,
sure.
That would be great. But I like those because they're flat.
Yeah, exactly. And then another thing that I mentioned the iPhone earlier. This is a kit that has all these different little lenses, and I'll show you the kit itself. It's got all these little lenses in it. Okay, it's kind of cute. But what I love about it, I really actually only use this one piece out of the kit. And this is a little lens on here that's a macro lens. And, this is not Zeiss glass, but you still get amazing magnification. It does 25x. So to be able to do 25x on your phone is just pretty phenomenal.
God.
I can, clip it right onto the phone. Of course, I have a little lens cap on there now. And you have to fiddle with it to figure out which of the three lenses if you've got the iPhone 11. But it's an awesome way to just really elevate your macro work with your phone if you're interested in going there. So a lot of people will, mess around with all these other little lenses too. There's even a circular polarizer and a wide angle lens and all kinds of other lenses in here. But honestly, for me, I just keep it simple and just have this one little macro lens screwed on here. And the lenses are interchangeable. You screw them, on this little handle.
Okay.
So that's another thing that I really like.
What is the brand of that?
It's made by a company called Apexel.
Okay.
But I do have these, people are interested in me sending you one. And then I also use this little flashlight. This is a flashlight that does 34 colors. And you can do them at 3 different brightness levels. And I don't always use a flashlight, but sometimes, like there was a dahlia shot that you showed earlier, where I just use a little bit of a blue light on there. And I will sometimes do underneath the flower if it's like a lily and you light it from underneath. Or, of course, you can paint with light if you're on a tripod and everything's really still and you have a longer exposure. So I just really like the little multicolored flashlights too. So
oh my gosh, I never knew that they even made multicolored.
I know. And I used to use one that only did 3 colors, but this one has 34 built in. So it's really awesome.
Oh, we got to put that down there below too. That is amazing. Yeah. I use a flashlight a lot.
Then there's something called, some of you may have this, it's called a shutter hat, and it's like a little raincoat for your camera. And this was actually designed by a macro photographer. And it'll fit over your camera. It's not like a shower cap, because the advantage of using this is you can get to all the controls of the camera without having to reach your hand underneath. And it's got Velcros around the front of the lens. And
I like that, because I
use a little place here for your hot shoe of the flash.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, the shutter hat's a neat little thing if you're really serious about doing macro. It's not good for downpour. You want to just do it when it's kind of misty and drizzly. And I used to live in Seattle, and it was like that a lot. So it's perfect for that type of weather.
Right. And it's always fun to get out in the elements too.
It is. It really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then finally, I just got my books here. I mean, you probably got a thing already that you could show people, but I've got
let's see
a book on Impressionism and another one on macro, and then an ebook also. So all of these are available. Actually, the Tiny Worlds book is not available on my website, but if you email me, I could send one to you.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, we could do that.
Others are on the website. So.
Well, let's go over here. Hold on one second. Okay. AD, let's show the screen and talk about that. So, oh, this is a workshop. I wanted to do the workshops after. Darn it, here's the macro.
There we go.
have to get into the macro. So I know that you had given me, here's the tiny worlds, and see where it says Charles at charlesneedlephoto.com. So there's the email. So if you guys,
that's the only one not available on my website right now. Eventually I will have it up there, but right now you can't order it through the website unless you email me.
I have a question since I'm looking at this. Do you stack? Because I do a lot of stacking when I do water drops like this. Do you stack or you use that high f-stop?
I'm using the high f-stop, believe it or not. Yeah.
You're killing me.
I could, it'd be interesting to compare results and try stacking, but I just go for now it's so critical, of course, as you probably know, to get as parallel as you can to that piece of glass to get everything sharp. So it takes a lot of doing. It's probably, an hour of setup and 1/2 of a second to press the shutter button.
I know, isn't that true? It's like if you could see all the prep that you do but I wanted to tell you too, your water drops are just beautiful.
Thank you. And all the techniques for making all the images you see on the cover there are covered in that Tiny Worlds book. So
okay.
If people want to try, especially in the winter, it's a great activity to sit at home and, when you can't get outdoors, and try some of these things with window light or whatever you might have.
Exactly. I mean, I think this is perfect for them to play with. Me and Charles are in California. Sorry.
I'm moving to Colorado soon.
Oh, yeah, that's right, though. It's snowing over there for sure. This one right here, this is his Impressionistic book, and we had talked before. So his best friend was the person so when I started photography back in the days, I was film. And then I went into, going into I had to teach myself all over again, right? So, so I followed him. Your best friend,
Johnson.
Mark Johnson. I mean, what an amazing teacher. Yes. So I bought his HDR book, the HDR ebook, and then I just downloaded it and read it, and because I do all HDR all the time. So so when I saw you, when I looked at your website or got to know who you were, and I saw this, I said, oh, what a small world. I remember when all of this was happening, I didn't know who you were.
Right, Mark actually designed the whole book for me.
Whole book. Oh.
Yeah, and did the cover design too, of course. And it's now in its second printing. I've sold the first 1,000 copies. So.
Oh, congratulations! Oh my gosh, yes.
And then of course Freeman Patterson. All of you need to get to know Freeman if you don't already know who he is. He's an amazing Canadian photographer.
Oh, okay. Forward. Oh, okay.
The bottom there.
Yes. Okay.
So you can go to freemanpatterson.com to learn more about him.
Oh, okay.
We've taught together actually in Monet's garden in the past, and we'll probably teach again at some point somewhere.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so nice that, So here's some of the things too when you were in your book. So is this part of the macro book?
Yes, so what you're looking at here is a sample page from the PDF or ebook called Creative Macro Photography. And I started with this book and it sold really well and it continues to sell well. But then I had Amherst Media approach me about doing a printed version. So the printed version is Tiny Worlds. So, but some people want both just so they have one kind of for their iPad and another, to just look at as a coffee table book type of thing. Well, it's not really a coffee table book, but a book, an instructional book to hold in their hand. So anyway, they both have almost identical content. There are some hyperlinks in this book, which obviously are not part of the printed book.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's true. And yeah, see, this is great. You show behind the scenes, the
Right.
flower. I love behind the scenes. So
Yeah.
that's really nice that you have all this. So you guys got to check this out. We definitely will have that link down below and all the information down here. Yeah, so let's go back to us. So so now, okay. Let us know what you're working on now. Well, you did kind of tell us what you were working on now already before when you were saying through the heart or your soul of what you're doing. But I am going to share your workshop. But I wanted to know too, is there any other projects, or is it just the workshops that you're exploring?
Well,
I know go for it.
Mindful photography is something that's really of great interest. I've already done a retreat on that subject in Hawaii, and I'm planning to probably offer some more retreats, like in Colorado where I'm moving, and so that and continue doing I had a workshop when I lived in Georgia. That's where I'm originally from, trying to lose the accent. But anyway, I had a backyard in Atlanta, and people would come and make images using, glass and water drops and Mylar and all those fun things. And so now with my new home in Colorado, I'm hoping to offer the same sort of experience there, so people could come to Colorado. But I have also been doing it at the Atlanta Botanical Garden on the East Coast and other places. So you just have to follow the website. But
right.
And I'm really excited about starting some apprenticeships. I've got several people interested in doing kind of a mentoring similar to what you did and still do. So and then the iPhone.
It's fun. You'll love it.
My wife is very much into the iPhone herself, and we're co-teaching a lot of places with that, and it's amazing what that phone is capable of. So I want to continue in that direction as well.
Yeah, that's fun that you're doing it with your wife. I really enjoy, like, when we go out landscaping, I have such a blast with Kevin, my husband. It's just so much fun to, enjoy while you're doing what you love with the person that you love.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, awesome. That's, it must be exciting though for you to be able to go into Colorado and have this whole new adventure. So
it is. I've already been to the Denver Botanic Gardens, and it's amazing. Can't wait to get there more often. And yeah, and then you've got all the wildflowers in the summer and Crested Butte and all over the place. So
you're like, yay!
Exactly. So
awesome. All right, you guys. So now this is the big thing. Okay, let me get it going here. So check this out. Okay, we could share my screen. Yes, this is it. This is where he only has one left. So, and he said he would give you the early bird special if anybody on this show would like to have the last seat. So talk about this, Charles. How exciting.
Well, it's one of several workshops I do. I don't always go to Holland, but this particular year I'm going to be going, and we're going to spend a lot of time at Keukenhof, which is a Technicolor dream world of color and just an amazing bulb garden in a park-like setting. And I'm currently working to try and get us in early, so we'll have some early access before the hordes of tourists come. But one of the nice things about any garden, really, where I'm teaching that's public, is that we can start with the wider shots, before the people arrive, and then work down to the more close-up macro stuff after everybody has come. And you would never know that you're surrounded by 50 people. You just are looking at that one flower through your lens and having a little party. So it's really a magical place, and I've been going there for 5 years now. And we'll also go to the north of Holland and do some windmills and tulip fields, and a couple of other trips like Kinderdijk, where all the Dutch painters painted. And I'll also take you to Alsmeer, which is the largest flower market in the world, just outside of Amsterdam. So it's a fun-filled week of flower photography.
Yeah, see, and this is he's given me all the goodies of what you guys do. So, I mean, you got the lodging and dinner. Oh my gosh, it seems like a really beautiful time, especially if you love flowers. Um,
It is, and
flower
they have an
photography.
indoor pavilion that's to die for. Amazing, no wind, of course, and they allow tripods, and they've just
Oh,
got exotic flowers in there all the time. Every year I go, it's different, so that's really exciting too
hmm
for macro stuff. And then I'll be
so
teaching impressionistic techniques as well, of course.
oh, good, good. So do they have to put, oh, so here it is. Do they, okay, here we go. This is, now, how would they sign up for this? Let's go back to us, AD. How do they sign up for it? Now, is this on your website now? Can they
It
do
is
that?
on the website now, and the main way to sign up is just to email me. So,
Okay.
I don't know how much interest there'll be, but I may have to just, whoever emails first gets the first dibs. I don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah, I will be glad to answer any questions, and we can correspond that way. But yeah, just emailing me would be the best way.
So here's, oh wait, that's your website. I was gonna try. There it is. This is the good email that they should do it. They should go for. Charles
Charles at Charles
Charles
Needle
Needle.
Photo. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So hey, hurry up, you guys, and say that you were from the Macro Chat Show.
Great.
All right, awesome. So do you guys have any questions before? I mean, this is like, I remember we'll let them because we're 30 seconds delayed. So if you guys have any questions, go for it now. I remember, and some of them might remember, but remember when we finally got the sound going the last time, you had told them to stick with the image and shoot it for an hour all different ways. I'm going to tell you, nobody submitted any images, but I didn't poke them about it. So I'm wondering if anybody, oh, Catherine says hi. There's more in here. Come and say hi. Yeah, so I remember your tip on that. You had said something about sticking with it for, and just shoot it so many different ways. Do you
Right,
remember
like
seeing?
I really should coin this hashtag of spend an hour with a flower,
Oh,
because literally that's kind of, I mean, I'm not always spending a whole hour with a flower, but the idea is to really spend as much time as you can and work the subject and try different lenses, different lighting, different camera angles, different apertures, all of that stuff
yeah.
is always really helpful.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Okay, you guys. No, you look at, they're not, I haven't, let me go down. Oh my gosh, I've missed so many people. My chat got stuck. Oh my God.
That's okay.
Oh, wearing a smile, Shirley.
We love them all. Thank you.
Oh, they want to know what's the name of your flashlight that has all those colors that we're all like, wow, 35 colors.
Honestly, I cannot remember what it's called, but if you email me, I can. It's not on here, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. So
But I do have them available if people are interested. They're, I think, $49, something like that. So.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it's well worth if you're interested in adding supplemental lighting. And they're great too for anybody who loves to do light painting of buildings and things like that. The brightest setting is pretty strong. So you could do certainly like, a rusted car or things like that if you're working.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I always put gels on mine, and it's a pain because you have to tape it, or put yeah.
Sure.
I mean, these are gels for strobes, so it's a pain. You're like tying it with them.
Yes. And the light, just if anyone's interested in ordering it, I'll just give you a heads up. It's not so simple to use right out of the container that comes in, but I did put together a cheat sheet and I dumbed it down step by step, what you need to do. When you first push the button, it's kind of weird. It doesn't do what you think it's going to do because it's made for other purposes. So anyway.
Yeah, no, that's great. Awesome. We will do that. And and so matter of fact, I think what we'll do too, Charles, is just, within the show notes, we'll go ahead and put your email if you don't mind.
Sure.
Can I put it down below? Fine. Okay, that would be great. We could do that. Let's see. What's the name? Okay, so that's the name of that. So hi, wearing smile. That's a nice name, Shirley. Hello, Lisa. Let me see. Where are you going to be in Colorado?
Ah.
You know
So,
what? Because Kim lives out yonder. Hi, Kim.
okay. So we're moving to Longmont, which is close to Boulder. So
Mm.
about 20 minutes north of Boulder, if you know where Boulder is.
Oh,
But
see,
it's only 40 minutes or so to the Denver airport. So,
oh, that's not bad. Yeah, so especially since you travel all over the place.
yes.
So let's see, food florist, Sarah, hello. I highly recommend his books. Oh, that's sweet.
Thank you.
Let's see if there's anything else. If there's something that I miss, maybe I could just send you an email or something. I don't, because
I'm
there is a
happy to
lot of
answer any
chatting.
questions anybody has. Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's hard to
Wow.
do with limited time, but I'll be glad to.
Did it go by fast? Okay. Okay, great. AD's been checking it out. So, yeah, so thank you so much. This has been awesome. I knew it would be
Thank
a
you for
great
having
show.
me. It's an honor and a privilege, and I'm just delighted to be here and love to come back. So,
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, yeah, I was telling Charles before, I said, we got to do it because I know the people that show up are really, really good. They love the macro. They really would suck in all of you. And thank you for letting us know more about you. I got to learn a
absolutely.
lot more
Sure.
about you. And tell you why. Okay, we have a question before we getting ready. Let's see. Let me go down. Whoa. Food. Been a pleasure here. Thank you kindly. Do you need to set up for indoor close-up? What do you need a setup? Oh, do you need a setup? You know, like how people have those setups for macro
Like
and stuff?
Cube or
Yeah.
I think that's what they're.
Well,
Yeah,
I guess
I don't really use that. I do use backdrops, and that kind of thing. And I have a glass stand that I use if I'm going to have a piece of glass in a vertical position. But normally I'll just, either use like window light or some tungsten bulbs, lights on a stand with umbrellas, or if I have access to a softbox, that's great. But I just try to work with whatever I might have. But there's nothing wrong with those setups, with the soft lighting and so forth. Great for posting products on eBay and things like that, and other artistic macro too. So just depends, whatever floats your boat.
Well, I think if they wanted to get that and then get that flashlight now we're talking about
right. Kind of through right, because it's translucent. I do also carry with me, I didn't show it, like a 12-inch gold. It's gold on one side, silver on the other reflector, and also a diffuser. Really great to have I call it my portable cloud.
Yes.
If you're out in the field and you need to soften the light. So most of the viewers probably know what that is.
Yes, I did notice that you do have a very soft feel, so you probably do have a lot of the diffusion if it's a bright, if you don't always have the clouds.
And one tip related to that, real quick, is to hold the diffuser close to your subject. I see a lot of people, like the subject's here and they're holding it way out here. I get the right. They're holding it way out here, and you need to actually hold it as close as you can without it being in the shot, because that gives more of a glow type effect and makes it more translucent kind of lighting. Because if you hold it too far, it's doing nothing more than just shadowing your subject.
Right. That's a great tip, you guys. Did you get that? See, it's always good to see.
If you hung on till the end, it was hopefully worth it for that one tip.
Okay, we'll take one more and that's it. Let's see. I love any ebook recommendation on shooting with the iPhone 11? You should make one.
I know. Well, yeah. I don't know off the top of my head of any ebooks per se on that topic. You could certainly do, a Google search and find it. I do also have, though, funny you should mention, these are guides that my wife and I put together, and they're kind of like cheat sheets that relate to, what apps you can do with your iPhone and how to work. So I have one that's on editing apps and the other that's on shooting apps. And so we do have these. They're, I think, $15 each is what we sell them for. And you can put them in your camera bag or whatever. So, yeah, I wasn't going to show that, but since somebody asked about.
Oh, why not?
It does not have tips related specifically, though, to the iPhone 11.
Right.
I have thought about doing mentorships with people that are interested in iPhone photography, too. There are ways where I can see your phone on the screen and we can work together one-on-one. So if anybody's interested in that, I'm definitely open to that, too.
Oh, how fun. Yeah. And yeah, that would be a lot of fun. That's great. Those are nice cheat sheets too. You did a great job. All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Charles. And thank you, everybody that has hang out with us. This has been such a blast. And it goes way too fast for us. I mean, I know I could keep you forever, but we do keep the hour. Okay, so Charles, I'm just going to go through some of the other things that we do. I want to let you know that the next show will be February 20th. So mark your calendar. After this show tomorrow, you'll be able to see on the YouTube channel and the next show. And if you like this show, which how can you not, give it a thumbs up. This is awesome. And I do want to say thank you to Charles, too, because he did take initiative and shared this. And I really do appreciate it because it's not about me. It's about us macro photographers getting together and having a place of our own to really dive into what we love to do and to have some awesome people like Charles show up. So thank you so much. I want you to always remember that your 1,000 words does make a difference. See you in 2 weeks. Thanks, Charles.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Appreciate it very much.